My name is Amani, and I would like to very welcome all of you to Amani Counselling Center and Training. Amani was established. We are very busy the Women Counseling Center, Kenya. Counseling is about personal development, and that is not just for both show so that can able to help other people also. So whereby we reach out to them, to our students. One of the benefits of this program is as employees to address their challenges as employees become aware of any distractions in their life, then they are able to enhance productivity. But also this you will find will normally enhance relationships also at the workplace.
We also do premarital counseling just as a preventive measure. We have people coming in to process their loss and grief, take them through the stages until they are recovered. We also do counseling for stress and trauma, addictions, including career directions and academic performance. Like you see, these are normal things that people go through in their lives. Huh? Our services are very flexible. We see clients at the center for those who are we also see clients outside the line, and that could mean we have some. We also do organizations that we work with and we do the counseling in the site. It will all depend on what you're doing. Counseling is for everybody, and it is for normal issues, normal struggles, day to day. Please come in and let us see how we can support you and empower you, because the way the counseling session, you really process, you explore what's going on, get a better understanding of what's happening to the person. And then once you're able to do that, then you can make the right person.
In the training services, we offer and we train professional counselors, we train professional social workers, and we also train other caregivers. We offer diploma courses and certificate courses in both counseling and social work. Our students are drawn from various professions. Most of our students have adult experience, great applicant for students who are straight from high school.
In Amani, we have different certificate courses. We have certificate in counseling and psychology. We also have certificate in child and adolescent counseling. We also have certificate in marriage and family therapy and certificate in trainer of trainers. If you're looking for a career in counseling, this is where, and especially if you want to have skills and the knowledge taught helps you and prepares you in this profession.
I want to talk about diploma psychology, a 2-year program, a pattern program with the following modules study, 1 day per week, and evening classes. Each academic year is divided into terms, so we call them semesters. We have 2 interns in a year, both at the headquarters and the regional offices. This program, a strong emphasis on the personal growth of our both an information program practical and relationship oriented, then to believe that are more trustworthy,
Cannot compare a diploma from a man even a degree. Those have been characterized with all respect to degree holders. What a degree does is good, but a man is the hands-on approach. So you get to learn practically how to do that. We train government agencies, specifically the institutions, such as the commission, area, and under the Ministry of Interior, we train police officers, prison officers, probation officers, and also officers within the department. What we do
majorly do is train community caregivers on counseling skills and trauma skills. So that they will go out to the community and help people who are going through trauma resolve this.
I would also like to introduce you to trauma and psychological disease. Have you been in a situation where you've lost a loved one? Or have you been in a situation whereby the disaster has happened when terrorists have welcome and being empowered in the first aid skills support you. When you do this struggle with that, you will understand what trauma is, understand its causes, you will understand its effects, and you will also be empowered in the coping mechanisms of handling trauma.
The trauma response centers are very essential to the community. Various issues have been handled in this center. Just to name a few, issues of loss and gain, land disputes, drug and alcohol abuse, domestic violence, animal illnesses, marital issues, and also stigmatization as a result of various experiences and various events.
It's a lot more that I need. The Youth Empowerment Program is a program that we conduct for young adults ranging between 12 and 20 years. This transitional stage, we have developed a program, and in this program, we help our young adults to find an identity of their own. And the way we do this is through a 3-phase program, that is April, August, and December. It's a 9-day program, and the program focuses on helping our adolescents to first identify what is it that they are going through. What are some of the developmental tasks? Be they emotional, be they physical, be they spiritual? What is it that they are trying to negotiate? Professionalism is very key for Amani, as well as integrity. This is in addition to empathy. Empathy basically reminds us all the time as we implement the services that we offer, all those staff, that we can pray, endeavor to understand them as much as possible, so that we are not just working in the way we think, but we need to connect with them. We keep confidentiality unless of course life is in danger, so that even those that we can trust us and entrust us with the information. When I came to Amani, I was telling myself I want to get the knowledge so that I go and help other people. Exactly about that. Work on it. My expectations, I can say, were overpaid. And I'm actually a practicing counselor today. Self-awareness, I was helped to live and discover myself, my values, my biases, and other issues I might have been going through without even knowing. Even tackling my issues with religion, race, and culture. My personal development journey was enacted, and I have learned how to give and take feedback positively.
I joined Amani Counselling Center and I started with the course. I did well. My level exams, I continued module 1. I graduated here, both of them, and now I'm module 2. So I came Amani Counselling Center. I was the bush. And after I joined Amani Counselling Center, I was able to communicate well with people. I was able to tag photo more than 500 people. And talking to them. Sometimes this year, I was going through a hard time, and I decided to take it upon myself to look for someone to help me. That's when I came to know about a man with this age. And I remember I commented in someone replied to me, and that's how I got myself. Considering I had come here to get counseling, and then decided to go to Sunday, it has been the best moment of my life. One, what we have learned in the classroom has really helped me when I apply it in my life, has been helpful. And then again, the theories of counseling made me become more aware of myself and how to relate with other people out.
Social work and community development in Amani started in the year 2013. Since then, we have had many students have trained in Amani. We have well-trained. We've had our students graduate. They are working in governmental organizations. Other students also working with government. We also have some students who are studying other countries outside Kenya. They are pursuing their family there.
In the field of life, there is accelerated technology, knowledge,
Amani Counselling Center and Training Institute. We are commonly referred to as Amani or ACTI. We are very privileged to be the oldest counseling center in Kenya, and we are registered with the NGO board or the non-governmental organizations board. We are also registered with the Ministry of Education. Currently, under TFET. TFET stands for Technical and Vocational Education and Training. We have three major areas that we focus on. The first one is clinical services. That entails counseling services. Many people know about counseling services, but I would like you to know that we also offer care for those who are practicing in counseling so that they are effective in their work. We are also, in recent times, very concerned about other caregivers. They may not be professional counselors, but they are caregivers in their own right, especially at the community level. So we also support them so that they can be able to implement whatever services they do in an effective manner. Amani has been involved in trainings, which is the second aspect. The third aspect of Amani is referred to as outreach. What does outreach mean? Outreach stands for tailor-made programs. This can be clinical in nature, but we listen to the different partners. Some are government agencies, others are non-governmental agencies, as well as corporates, and we tailor-make what it is that they need. Our vision is holistic individuals, communities, and organizations. Our core values are very important to us and to all those people that we serve. So we endeavor to uphold professionalism. We are very passionate about linking up with other people in a confidential manner, among other core values.
My name is Lona Christine Tumbo. I'm the Clinical Services Coordinator at Amani Counselling Center and Training Institute. Clinical services generally takes care of the counseling services, supervision, that is counseling for supervision for practicing counselors. We also take care of debriefing during trauma and any other helping needs as required. Counseling is a helping relationship for any person who is struggling with normal day-to-day life's issues and challenges. And the focus for counseling is to be able to empower these people or this person to be able to handle their issues in a healthy way, to make decisions, the right choices for themselves, and it has to be okay by them. Everybody needs counseling. Like I say, it is for normal people struggling with normal day-to-day issues. So in Amani, we take care of the entire population. We do counseling for children as little as 3 years old through play and art therapy. We do counseling for adolescents. We do counseling for the emerging adults, the young adults, for families, for couples, for groups, and like I say, we take care of the entire population. But mainly what are the emerging issues, and they rate very high, are issues to do with relationships, and this would include marital issues, relationships within the family network, relationships with each other. We also do premarital counseling, just as a preventive measure. Please come in and let us see how we can support you and empower you, because within the counseling sessions, you will process, you will explore what's going on, get a better understanding of what's happening to you as a person, and then once you're able to do that, then you can make the decisions, the right choices for yourself.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
We are
Esther.
happy to have each one and every one of you. Karibuni sana. I can see our moderator is on. Lorna, you are most welcome.
Thank you. Appreciated.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Esther. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Our viewers, we are really excited to have you on board today. I can see we are about 29 of us are logged in. I'm thinking we are more than that, Esther, so I'm wondering whether we should just move ahead because it's already time. I'm suggesting that we give about 5 more minutes so that we can get quorum.
That is fine, Lorna.
Before we move on, yes, kindly.
Okay.
Right.
So as we give them 5 minutes, we can share some information about Amani.
Thank you. Can I go ahead and do that?
Let me share, Lorna.
Thank you very much, Esther.
You're welcome.
My name is Eleka Mudhoni Bithi, and I would like to sincerely welcome all of you to Amani Counselling Center and Training Institute. Amani was established in 1979. We are very privileged to be the oldest counseling center in Kenya.
Counseling is a helping relationship for any person who is struggling with normal day-to-day life's issues and challenges. And the focus for counseling is to be able to empower these people or this person to be able to handle their issues in a healthy way, to make decisions, the right choices for themselves, and it has to be okay by them.
Counseling is about personal development, and that is not just for those we serve, but even we as Amani staff endeavor to continue growing so that we can be able to help other people also grow.
Everybody needs counseling. Like I say, it is for normal people struggling with normal day-to-day issues. So in Amani, we take care of the entire population. We do counseling for children as little as 3 years old through play and art therapy. We do counseling for adolescents. We do counseling for the emerging adults, the young adults, for families, for couples, for groups. And like I say, we take care of the entire population.
We envision holistic individuals, but also communities and organizations. And the way we do this is through facilitation and through the outreach arm, whereby we reach out to organizations. And this is through our employee assistance program. Part of the benefits of this program is as employees are able to address their challenges, as employees become aware of any distractions in their life, then they are able to enhance productivity. But also this, you will find, will normally enhance relationships also at the workplace.
We also do premarital counseling just as a preventive measure. We have people coming in to process their loss and grief, take them through the stages until they are recovered. We also do counseling for stress and trauma, addictions, including career directions and academic performance. Like you see, these are normal things that people go through in their lives. Our services are very flexible. We see clients at the center for those who are walking in. We also see clients outside Amani, and that could mean visiting you at your home. We have some clients that sometimes are not able to come to the center, so we do come to your homes. We also visit organizations that we work with, and we do the counseling within the site. It will all depend on what your needs are. Counseling is for everybody, and it is for normal issues, normal struggles, day to day. Please come in and let us see how we can support you and empower you, because within the counseling sessions, you will process, you will explore what's going on, get a better understanding of what's happening to you as a person, and then once you're able to do that, then you can make the decisions, the right choices for yourself.
Lorna,
Yes, Esther.
we can go ahead. I'm seeing we are at a good number.
Right. Yes,
So
yes,
I
can see we are good to go.
Yes, yes.
So thank you, Esther. Once again, our esteemed viewers, we are very excited as Amani to have you log in to today's webinar, which will be talking about dealing with post-election anxiety and stress. I am going to be the moderator for today. And so looking forward to a very interesting and very relevant topic that is probably affecting a lot of us, or most of us, in one way or the other. As we know about anxiety, and Richard, who is our presenter today, will talk more about anxiety and stress. Anxiety is just a way of survival. We all go through anxieties, different anxieties in our lives. And so just understanding that even as we are experiencing anxiety, it is normal for us to feel. Anxiety is warning us of danger or something that is going wrong in the system. And so it is okay to feel the anxiety, but then how do we handle it when it is getting overboard and probably taking us to those places where we are not very comfortable with? So it's a normal feeling, it's a normal experience, it's a normal emotion, even as we go through our day-to-day life's challenges and day-to-day life, not just challenges, but as we continue to live. And so I want to introduce our presenter. We are very privileged to have Richard Wafula, a colleague, who is a counseling psychologist, also a certified mediator. And at Amani, he also manages our corporate affairs department. Richard will be walking us through. Let us take time to listen And even as we are listening, probably a lot of things will be coming out for you that you can connect to. Please feel free to type in the chat, and so that we can also respond to you as we go ahead. Richard Wafula, the floor is yours. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Esther. Thank you to everyone who has logged in to our webinar this afternoon. I want to even first to acknowledge God for this opportunity that Amani is coming, or rather having this session with us. It's quite a season for us. You'll agree that we're just from an election period, an election that we have gone through so far very peacefully. And we just want to thank God for the peace that we're observing in our country, even as we hope and continue praying that the remaining part of this electioneering period will indeed remain peaceful. So this is a session for us just to be able to interact. It is a session just for us to be able to even, acknowledge our feelings, process our feelings, and just be able to also know where are we, where am I at as an individual in as far as this process is concerned. And therefore, our topic today, dealing with anxiety and stress post-election, is a very, very important subject. Allow me to also acknowledge different people who are joining us from different organizations. I've seen some very familiar names working in different organizations. Thank you so much for sparing this time. I've seen some names of our students, Asanteni Sana. I've seen our names of our colleagues and every other person who is a friend to Amani. Allow me to say that this is something that we have been doing over the period of time. It is something that we'll continue doing. In fact, we have even adjusted our schedule where we'll be doing now weekly webinars just to be able to support as a way of offering our services to the community. Amani values mental health very, very much. And as a way of reaching out to our clients, to our friends, to our stakeholders, to our partners, we'll be coming to you every Friday to offer different topics in psychosocial support. So feel free to always join in. Feel free to just also invite other people to join in. We know it's just 1 hour, but that 1 hour might actually have an impact to you and that person that you'll be inviting to join us in. So I'm actually joining in from our head office located along Raila Odinga Way. We are located along Jonathan Clock. For those that know us, where we are located, and for those that don't know, at the end, we shall be able to give you our contacts and our location. Allow me therefore, ladies and gentlemen, to go through my presentation. But even as I put up my presentation, let me just start with a question that perhaps I might not get an answer now, but maybe later I'll be able to get an answer. How are you feeling? How are you feeling this afternoon? What is coming up for you, and especially in regard to what has been happening in our country regarding matters election? What is your experience? What is your experience? How have you been dealing with it? Okay, just put yourself, I want to invite you into that context so that then you can be able to, find yourself in terms of how you're feeling, how have you been thinking, how have you been behaving. Election, just like in Kenya and any other part of this world, is one very emotive, process or an activity, if I have to put it that way. And it's actually one of the causes of stress. It's actually one of the causes of anxiety. Okay, so it is important to just be aware. How are you feeling even as you're listening to me this afternoon? How have you been thinking about this whole process? Has it affected the way you're behaving? Has it affected the way you've been doing your day-to-day task? It's very, very important to actually acknowledge and just being aware what is happening in your life. I've already been introduced. I wouldn't go back there. allow me to go into my introduction statement. No matter where you fall on the political spectrum, you may be feeling stressed, anxious, and perhaps even traumatized. Are you still obsessively scrolling through your social media feeds, searching for items that confirm your beliefs that the other side is wrong? Are you arguing with your loved ones who don't share your views? Do you have a queasy feeling about the future? Again, I want to invite all of us to just be, present to what you are currently feeling as of here and now, okay? Some of us could be in social media, and this statement speaks to us, okay? Where we will constantly want to get, something that will calm us down, where we want to read something that will make us, more hopeful. I'm speaking to both the political divide, okay? We are at a moment where we all want to feel, victorious in one way or the other. So are you obsessively scrolling through your social media feeds, searching for items that confirm your beliefs that other side is wrong? Are you arguing with your loved ones who don't share your views? Do you have a queasy feeling about your future? Reflective questions for all of us. You may be struggling with post-election trauma, okay? What you call a real post-election trauma that is affecting people of all political persuasions across the country, okay? So as I'll be going through my presentation, I want you to just, at your own, level, observe, assess, be aware what is happening to you as of here and now, okay? The American Psychological Association defines anxiety as an emotional, or rather as an emotion characterized by feelings of tension, okay? Feelings of worry, rather worried thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. I started by saying it has been a tense moment. I started by recognizing that it is a moment of uncertainty for whichever political spectrum you belong to. I started by even just letting us be aware that, are you finding yourself irritable? Have your emotions been affected in one way or the other? Okay, so it is important as we talk about anxiety, then we are actually getting to know that anxiety is an emotion characterized by feelings of tension. What is making you tense up? What is making you have worried thoughts? The process is still ongoing. One side of the divide is indicating they're going to court. If you belong to that spectrum, I want to imagine, what are you thinking about the process? Are we going to be favored in the court, or are we going not to get the favorable ruling? The other side is saying we are ready for this process. And there's so many conversation that is happening around the political spectrum or sphere of what our country is going through at the moment that can actually occasion anxiety, okay? What is stress? Stress is a feeling of emotional or physical tension, okay? It can come from any event. In this case, it can come from, the elections that, we have just concluded or it's still ongoing, okay? Or thought that can make you feel frustrated, angry, nervous. Stress is your body's reaction to a challenge or demand. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, how are you responding? How are you reacting towards what you consider as stressful as of here and now? What are the classifications of anxiety? We have different classifications of anxiety, okay? Again, just listing them down here. Separation anxiety, okay? There's what we call generalized anxiety disorder. There's what we call panic disorder. We have phobic disorders, okay? We have what we call obsessive compulsive disorder. We have post-traumatic stress disorder, And we also have what we call secondary to general medical condition substances. You could be experiencing one or multiple of this anxiety, depending on your experience, depending on your experience. What are some of the research findings on post-election anxiety? Many studies have enumerated the negative effects of politics on people's health. For example, the journals in one study concluded that politics is a pervasive and largely unavoidable source of chronic stress that exerted significant health costs for large numbers of adults between 2017 and 2020. Okay. Further research indicates that psychology experts describe anxiety due to election as an election stress disorder. Okay, so some of us will be going through what we call election stress disorder. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorder, DSM-5, doesn't include ESD as part of it, but it's still a health problem that voters experience during an election. So are you experiencing election stress disorder? Very important. We'll be looking at some of the signs and symptoms, and maybe that will make you more aware. And what support would you therefore require if you're going through what I'm calling election stress disorder? As the Kenyan elections are drawing to a close, there are heightened tensions leading to chronic stress. That's because politics is a chronic stressor. Okay? Politics is a chronic stressor, saturating popular culture and permeating daily life through social media, various entertainment platforms, and a 24-hour news cycle. Okay? My observation as this process began, I mean, even our media station stopped streaming the normal programs. And when you could switch on your TV, for those that have been on TVs, it was always about, elections. It was always about election. Different speakers just talking about elections. And that in itself could have caused or might occasion stress. It might occasion anxiety. Okay. What are some of the symptoms? What are some of the symptoms of anxiety and stress? Dizziness, restless legs, chronic fatigue, night sweats, okay, twitching, having headaches, having cold chills, shaking, difficulty in breathing. Okay, so we respond towards anxiety and stress differently. So these symptoms might have been, or rather might, be seen or manifest in you differently because of a number of factors that, of course, would occasion different reaction to this stress. So common anxiety signs and symptoms include feeling nervous, restless or tense, having a sense of impending danger, panic or doom, having an increased heart rate. I met some people who before the announcement, somebody saying, I can't really settle down. I'm waiting for the chairperson of the commission to announce this thing. They were very, agitated, okay? Breathing rapidly, okay? Hyperventilation, sweating, okay? Trembling, feeling weak or tired, trouble concentrating or thinking about any other thing than the present worry. So we're in a season where we're not thinking about any other thing. We're not thinking about work. Actually, it has affected, to some extent, what I'm speaking about today has affected the output, for those that are employed. Okay, and that is why as Amani, we have a program to actually support different organizations, different individuals, faith-based organizations, non-governmental agencies to be able to actually explore these feelings and be able to deal healthy, positively with it. Maybe we'll be speaking about this towards the end of our presentation, what we have for you in terms of supporting you be able to deal with the current process that is happening, that is occasioning the anxiety and and stress, so that then your output can actually be restored, okay? Having trouble sleeping, experiencing gastrointestinal problems, having difficulty controlling worry, having the urge to avoid things that trigger anxiety. This is just an image to tell you how anxiety and stress affects, our bodies. It might have affected you. It might have affected you even as you're listening to me. So in terms of our brain, we tend to develop difficulty in concentration. We develop, irritability, and what we call the mood-mind fog, okay? In terms of our skin, we might lose our hair, we might develop brittle hair, brittle nails, dry skin, delayed tissue repair, okay? In terms of our gut, nutrition absorption, diarrhea, constipation, indigestion, bloating, pain and discomfort. Some of us, I want to repeat again, you might be experiencing this and you're wondering, have I developed a medical condition? It could be that you're going through anxiety. It could be that you're going through stress. As psychologists, perhaps allow me to use the opportunity to remind us that, it is important to actually reach out for therapy before even considering, or rather having a parallel process of trying to actually deal with what you are experiencing. Allow me therefore to go through some of the effects of stress and anxiety, and especially during this period of stress. In terms of our central nervous system, long-term anxiety and panic attacks can cause your brain to release stress hormone on a regular basis. This can increase the frequency of symptoms such as headaches, dizziness, and depression. When you feel anxious and stressed, your brain floods your nervous system with hormones and chemicals designed to help you respond to a threat. Adrenaline and cortisol are two examples of the hormones that actually flood your nervous system. In terms of your cardiovascular system, anxiety can cause rapid heart rate, palpitations, and chest pain. You may also be at an increased risk of high blood pressure and heart disease. If you already have heart disease, anxiety may raise the risk of coronary events, okay? In terms of your excretory and digestive system, anxiety can affect your excretory and digestive system. You may have stomach aches, you might experience nausea, diarrhea, and other digestive issues. You might also lose your appetite. There may be a connection between anxiety and the developmental of irritable bowel syndrome after bowel infection, okay? So IBS can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and constipation. As I'm going through this, you tend to, realize that anxiety can, in a very a large extent, be very, very harmful to our bodies. In terms of your immune system, anxiety can trigger your flight or fight stress response and release a flood of chemicals and hormones like adrenaline into your system. But if you repeatedly feel anxious and stressed, or it lasts a long time, your body never gets the signal to return to normal functioning. This can weaken your immune system, leaving you more vulnerable to viral infection and frequent illnesses. Also, your regular vaccines may not work as well if you have anxiety. Hence, the clarion call for all of us to just be aware where we at, how we're feeling, and taking that next step to be able to deal with how you're feeling. In terms of our respiratory system, anxiety can cause rapid, shallow breathing. If you have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, you may be at an increased risk of hospitalization from anxiety-related complications. Anxiety can also make asthma symptoms worsen. Anxiety can also make asthma symptoms worsen. What are the effects? What are the other effects? Anxiety can cause other symptoms, including headaches, muscular tension, insomnia, depression, and social isolation. it is important, ladies and gentlemen, to be aware, to observe what is happening, in your life, what is happening in the life of your loved one, what is happening in the life of those children. Sometimes we neglect or ignore, imagining that they are not actually at the right age, or they are not of age to experience the anxiety that is actually occasioned or caused by politics. They are actually just like us, okay? And what we say, how we behave, how, they are observant. And so it is important to also just observe if this is happening in the lives of your children, in the life of your loved ones, in the lives of those known to you, and just help them be able to actually come out and deal with this. Dealing with loss of an election, dealing with loss of an election. I've already emphasized that election can be very, stressful. It can even be traumatic, okay? So the election process can be a stressful one for everyone. And if you find that you're dealing with an unwanted anxiety, stress, or depression, even after the election has passed, it might be time to take action. This election has brought up a number of important social topics for discussion, albeit some difficult and potentially triggering ones, okay? Make sure you advocate for yourself and your mental health. Seeking out treatment, therapy can have a huge impact on your overall well-being and quality of life. Both Miller and Reynolds agree that the best thing to do if your candidate loses is to give yourself the time, the space to feel whatever it is you're feeling and honor those emotions. I think for me, that is so powerful. I'll take that again. That both Miller and Reynolds agree that the best thing to do if your candidate loses is to give yourself the time and the space to feel whatever it is you're feeling and honor those emotions. They go further and state that sit with your emotions, reflect on how you feel, process how you feel, express how you feel. Reynolds suggests that identify what you're experiencing emotionally and then express that in some kind of a healthy way. I'll be talking to us shortly about some of the techniques, strategies to deal with anxiety and stress post-election. But even before I get there, I think this statement speaks volumes. To me, it does. I don't know for you, but for me, it does. That I need to sit with my emotions. I need to reflect on how I feel as a person. I need to process how I feel as a person. But equally important, I need to express how I feel. To me, that is very powerful. Then I also need to identify what I'm experiencing emotionally. And as I identify what I'm experiencing emotionally, I should be able to express it. And that is why it is an important season for you to just be in this moment, to be aware. And if you need help, reach out. Our slogan is help at hand. We are there to actually listen to you. We are there to actually help you process your feeling. We are there to help you express how you feel. And in doing so, you'll be dealing with the emotions in a healthy manner. So how therefore do we deal with post-election anxiety and stress? Very quickly, okay? Number one, stay connected. Stay connected. How do you stay connected? By communicating with those closest to you, okay? So communicating with those closest to you can help with navigating stress. If you feel like you can't connect with friends and family about the election result, reach out. Reach out to a doctor, reach out to therapists, reach out to counselors. We are there, I've already said. As Amani, we are there, reach out. We'll be able to actually support you process this feeling. We have already looked at the effects, the impact, And I want to imagine that from that information, then you will want to really, take the best time possible to deal with it if you're going through that anxious moment. If you know someone struggling, reach out to them. Elections matter for health. Let's recognize that and respond as a nation in a way that supports each other's well-being and brings our communities closer. The other technique is write down your thoughts. Write down your thoughts. Putting your thoughts and emotion on paper can help express what you're feeling when you're struggling to do so verbally. So write down. Take a piece of paper. Sit somewhere, write down. Okay? Journaling about the situation and brainstorming solutions by drawing, using diagrams, or speaking to mentors and family members allows individuals to remain goal-oriented when emotional. This is according to McGavie. So journal, write down, draw, okay? Draw your feelings, draw your experiences, write your experiences, write down your thoughts and emotions. It will help you be able to gain insight on how to better deal with that situation. Ladies and gentlemen, embrace what's in your control. Embrace what's in your control. I like this. While who becomes the president is out of your control. And I think that statement speaks to me as well. I hope it speaks to you. We played our part. We went and voted. But it's not within me as an individual to determine that, whoever I voted to will emerge the winner. But you did your part. You did your part. So while who becomes the president is out of our control, McGavie says that creating a list of things in your control and techniques to live your life in a manner that aligns with your values and beliefs can help. You played your part. Others equally play their part. The result might not have gone your way. It might have gone your way, but it was not entirely up to you to determine how those results will go. And so what you cannot manipulate, psychologists will remind us that pay little attention, if no attention to it, and actually spare more energy, spare more time to things that you can manipulate, to things that you're actually in control of. It will help you be able to deal and cope positively with the feelings that we're talking about today. Revisiting this list and partaking in mindfulness activities when ruminating knocks at the door may elevate individuals' anxiety during this unpredictable and tumultuous year. Okay. The other technique is limit news. Limit news. Okay. This is something that I just alluded to it. That some of us were actually glued to our television sets. Rightfully, be it as it have gone. And of course, those news and, the social media, have played a role in just, making you feel the way you're feeling this afternoon, even as you're listening to me. So one of the strategies to deal with the anxiety, to deal with the stress post-election is to limit those news. Because every other time you go to the news, you say, the other day something was trending 0.01%. Depending on which side you support, such trends can actually make you, lose your mind. They can make you lose your mind, actually. So limit what you're consuming now, and especially if they're hot button topics, if they're topics that, of course, when you get to hear, it just aggravates, it just escalates, it just makes you feel, more anxious. News stations and social media will cover the winning candidate in abundance following the election. I'm sure you're observing that. I don't need to really, repeat what you're observing already, what is happening. So resist the urge to obsessively watch the news or check social media. Designate specific times to check, what is happening. Of course, I'm not saying that, black out yourself completely, But I'm saying, I mean, you can actually have a balance. You can actually have a balance, okay? So Bart suggests that balancing checking the news with other activities that help you cope with stress, such as listening to podcasts, watching movies, reading and exercising, can be of great help to you. It can be of great help to you, okay? The other point, and especially to us who are parents, this is very important. I already say that, you know, some of us might be assuming, ignoring, or now just taking the attention that the children you're parenting, and especially if they're of small age, they're not being affected. But let me remind you, emotions are contagious. Emotions are contagious. Both positive and negative emotions are contagious. So when those children, you're imagining they're not being affected, observe you going through either positive or negative emotions, definitely this is gonna affect them as well. But what is my point? My point is parent with empathy, especially during this period of time. What do I mean? For parents of children aware of the 2022 election, knowing how to talk to them about the tension in the country can help reduce the stress. So have a direct, you know, conversation with these children. Explain to them to understand when you see this politician saying this, you know, what is the implication? What is it? You know, let them not just get to hear or see or observe people doing things or saying things that they even make them more confused and they don't know where to get emotional support. Your children at this particular point require emotional support. They do, if they have to cope positively, because they have in one way or the other also been affected. Okay? So Magabi suggests having an open conversation with your children can really, really be of help. Explain that open conversation is healthy, and this does not have to result in anyone changing their belief system or political affiliation. The most important thing is that conversation prioritize empathy and compassion. She recommends that we need to be asking our children open-ended questions and encouraging them to do the same with you. Allow these children, my brothers and sisters, to actually talk to you. Let them actually tell you anything that comes to their mind, anything that they feel is actually affecting them. Don't gag them. You might actually be affecting them more, okay? I don't know whether you have ever scheduled what we call schedule worry time. I don't know, maybe, to some of us, it might sound not very familiar. But one of the strategies of dealing with anxiety and stress is what we are calling schedule worry time. Pick a time away from your bedtime and let that be your designated worry time. If there's anything you want to carry home this afternoon, among many other things that I've spoken to, this should be one of it. Scheduling your worry time, okay? During that time, you can look at the news and read every article you want. Very important. But keep all your worries designated for that specific time. You can even set a reminder on your phone that, hey, it's my worry time, okay? It's at 6 p.m., 6 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 p.m., or whatever the time. It's time for me to go into that space, okay? You can even set a reminder, okay? So it helps us redirect worrying thoughts before bed, and it helps intrusive thoughts about stressors all throughout the day, okay? So it's very important, it's helpful, it's healthy. It's a way of helping us redirect, you know, our worry, our concerns in a healthy manner. The other strategy is cultivate joy. Cultivate joy. Cultivate joy. Be intentional about creating happy moments for yourself. Reynolds reminds us that do what makes you feel good. Make time for play. Maybe that looks like having a family game night or a FaceTime with friends. Even burning a candle or taking a bath can add an immediate lift to your day. Being in nature and being physically active are wonderful for stress management. Reynolds adds, so find ways to get outdoors and benefit from fresh air and sunlight. Get enough sleep. Get enough sleep. Sleep is often first thing impacted by stress, but there are tangible ways to help protect your sleep. When stress is high, according to Miller, here are 3 ways to help sleep habits. 1, wake up at the same time every day if you can. This means 7 days a week, even on weekends, consistently is key because it helps your body build sleep drive. Okay? It helps your body build sleep drive. The likelihood of you falling asleep at any given time, which in turn helps us to sleep. The other technique about sleep is stop trying to sleep. Stop trying to sleep. When you're lying in bed trying to sleep, your mind starts to click on ruminate and worry. It can be a time when thoughts of election come up and we start catastrophizing. When that happens, you want to get up out of bed, watch TV or read book so that you're not putting any efforts towards sleep. It also helps your mind avoid making the association that your bed is where you lie awake worrying. Then, of course, use your bed only for sleep. Don't use your bed to work, read, watch TV, or scroll on your phone. Some of us, we have those tendencies. When we get to bed, we get inside there with our phones. You can still do those things, of course, just not in bed. This can help give your brain the association that your bed is only where you sleep. Very, very important. Practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. I'm almost coming to the end so that I can open the forum for any interaction thereafter. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is more important now than ever. Reynolds explains, when we feel anxious, our minds are operating outside of the present moment. Below, Reynolds shares 3 simple strategies that can help bring you back to the present. Number 1, take deep breaths. Breathing is one of the best things you can do to naturally calm yourself down and manage anxiety. Plus, it's the one thing we have control of. No matter where we are, if you focus your mind on your breath, it centers your attention and allows you to let go of what's causing your anxiety. The other technique is be still under mindfulness. Be still. When you are still, even just for a moment, it helps to bring down your level of anxiety. Whether it's meditation or just breathing for a bit, I'll encourage everyone to have some sort of be still routine. Utilize grounding techniques. When you're overwhelmed in the moment, use your 5 senses as a way to disconnect you from your present feelings and redirect your thought processes. Okay? Try to name things around you. Count backwards from 100 by 7s or name the capital of every state. Usually, by the end of this exercise, you will feel better. You will always feel better. Avoid political arguments. It may be tempting to weigh in on a political remark made by a co-worker or a family friend, but it's not likely that the interaction will leave you feeling any better. Instead, excuse yourself from the conversation or direct it in the less contentious direction. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, to set the ground rules to keep political talk out of the dining room, all right, on Thanksgiving as a family, right? Look out for the feelings of depression, anxiety. While some stress is normal, if symptoms like worry, dread, hopelessness are impacting the quality of your daily life, it might be a good idea to take a mental health screen, okay, and seek out help from a trained mental health professional, okay? You may be experiencing symptoms of depression or anxiety, which is common but treatable. I'm coming to the end of my presentation, but before I end my presentation, I want to leave you with 2 quotes, starting with this one. If it's out of your hands, ladies and gentlemen, if it is out of your hands, it deserves freedom from your mind too. And I respect, even as a speaker, even as a facilitator this afternoon, allow me to, just say, I respect what you might be feeling, what you're going through, what you're thinking. I'm not here to tell you that what you're thinking is bad. No, I respect the space that you are in. But now you know that there are techniques that you can involve yourself with that could be helpful to you in the short term or in the long run. If you need help, reach out, reach out, reach out. Don't stress. The could have. If it should have, it would have. I like that. Don't stress. The could have, it should have, it would have. I end my presentation at that particular note, but not without opening this forum for questions and answer, and perhaps even clarification or addition or brief sharing as we come to a close of our presentation. As I end and invite my moderator to take up the next session, even as I remain available to answer any question, just to remind us that as Amani Counselling Center and Training Institute, under our program, different program, psychosocial support program, we are available to support you at an individual level, to support you at a family level, to support you at a group level, to support you at an organization level. We are happy to do more for you and for the community in as far as dealing with the various aspects of this process we are calling election is concerned. And therefore, we invite all of us to reach out to us so that we can be able to offer you the help that you need. Thank you very much. I hope it has been an impactful session. Our time might have been a bit constrained, but that's how we have scheduled our session. And like I've said, going forward, at least for the next month or so, we'll be having these webinars every Friday, and we look forward to your participation as we offer each other support and as we pray that our country, Kenya, remains peaceful going forward. Thank you very much, and over to you, Lorna, for the next brief session before we come to a close.
Thank you very much, Richard. That was a wonderful presentation. I hope you were able to go into the chat box where there are several comments of different kinds of comments just mentioning how useful this presentation, this topic has been to them. And truly it is, as you've quoted there from one of the writers, if it's out of your hands, it deserves freedom from your mind. So again, just telling us that we need to free our minds from a lot of issues that we have no control over. We had control over whether we wanted to vote or not, but the outcome is not within our control. So it is very important that such things do not get into our minds and disable us so totally that we are not able to function. And so even as we read through the congratulatory messages, the appreciation, we want to really appreciate all of you for logging in. We were 100 plus at the time that I checked last. And even before we move on to question and answers, we would really want to appreciate the presence of our Executive Director, Madam Ele Kambithi. She's in the house with us today, also supporting us from the background, and maybe she'll also want to say a word or two. So I will allow just a few questions. Those are burning because I've tried to check on the wall, on the chat box. I have not seen any questions per se, Those that have been raised, I have tried to answer. If you feel that they have not been answered fully, or maybe you need further clarification, it is well, you can still raise your hand and we will take on 1 or 2 questions before we hand over to our executive director. Thank you very much. Okay. Richard, you may want to look at the chat box from a message from Lorraine Consolata.
Yes, Lorna?
Richard, are you hearing me?
I can hear you. Is there a question that you want me to respond to?
Yes, can I read it out?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, Lauren is asking, how do you deal with this at the workplace where one side is celebrating and the other side is moping? And there is just a thin line between. Yes, Richard, please.
Okay, thank you. That's a very, very good question. One of the techniques that I did allude to is avoid political talks if you can, because they're bound to be there. People are bound to share or rather comment and say something. Are you able, I mean, they actually, you know, if I was, you know, to go further, and I want to imagine that, you know, we are, you know, we will keep discussing this. But one of the things that you can do at this particular point, just like I said, limit news. You can also limit that, you know, places. I know at work you might not, you know, work in isolation, but can you also be assertive to actually communicate that this topic is not okay for you? I mean, so that it doesn't, you don't have to actually, you know, be there. People are commenting and saying things, and it's actually hurting you. So you can assertively, you know, communicate to your colleagues that I'll appreciate if, you know, as we are working together, you know, such topics that you're actually sharing now are actually affecting me. And I'll really, you know, request that you can actually have this conversation maybe some other time or elsewhere, okay? But you can also excuse yourself. You can actually excuse yourself and be able not to be part of that conversation, that it will actually trigger your anxiety. But again, more importantly, is also to be, you know, in the present moment and just appreciate that I'm anxious, and what are some of the techniques that you can be able to put in place to be able to deal with that anxiety. I also want to say that it is okay and it is good to respect each other's feelings, whether at work, whether at home, or in our social gatherings. I think it is important just to respect what people are going through, what people are feeling, and not just be able to, you know, throw to them what you feel they need to hear at this particular point. Lorna, any other question? Esther, any other question that you may want us to respond to?
Yes.
Richard, there are quite a few questions coming through. Esther, my network is not very stable.
Yes.
And so maybe you could also help read. I saw something from somebody called Ladongo, and there's also VJ, Violet, also asking a question.
Yes, let me read it out from Agnes K. She's asking, how do you manage worry time without it spilling over? I don't know what she means, but how do you manage worry time without it spilling over? And then EJA is saying, in a country that is 50-50, how do we avoid feeling like we will be ostracized and excluded by the incoming regime? My fear is the return to dictatorship days.
Allow me with respect not to really go deep into the second question. It is a personal fear. I respect that. It is also perhaps informed by many other things. I might not want to get into that, but I mean, from the psychological perspective, is just to recognize and, from where I am, reading that question or hearing that question is that, that is a fear. It's just, a fear that it is, occasioned by the entire political exercise. And I started by saying that it is a very difficult period to everyone, regardless of their political alienation. Okay, I would actually encourage that you actually get to know how do you deal with that fear at a personal level, because you might not really be able to determine whether the incoming government will, fulfill your expectations or not. But I would encourage that you deal with what is making you feel that way, and perhaps get new insights to deal with what is occasioning that fear, and that will make you feel much better. In terms of the first question, how do you manage with your scheduled worry time that will not spill over? This scheduled worry time is not that it is actually custom made, that in the next 1 hour I should so fear, and then after 1 hour I should stop fearing. No, it is just to help you be able to process what would be making you anxious or stressed. But also, if it spills over, then it's just an indication that you need support. It's just an indication that perhaps you cannot be able to deal with it as an individual, in as much as you have actually scheduled that time to worry, to fear, to feel the way you do. But also it could be just an indication that could it be that it is communicating to me as a person that I now need to reach out and be able now to deal with my fears, my worries, my stress, perhaps in a more better way or in a more advanced way. So let it not worry that if it spills over, then there's a problem. No, let it actually be an indicator that because it is spilling over, could I now reach out to a therapist so that then I can be supported to actually process and be able to deal with what is making me feel the way I do in a better way.
Richard, I think those are the only questions that I am seeing for now, other than the appreciation. I would want to take this time to invite our Executive Director, Madam Elekambithi, to also just share a word. Thank you, Esther, for stepping in. And thank you all for being present and very much attentive throughout the entire presentation, which was very powerful. Madam Eleka, karibu sana.
She's on mute.
Kindly unmute yourself, Madam Eleka. I think I had muted everybody.
Okay, thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Esther. Very special thanks to Richard and the organizing team, and to all those that joined us today, and to all those who partner with us from time to time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Regarding today's input, because it's already 2 o'clock, so we don't wish to keep you any longer. The good news is that despite our experiences before elections, during elections, and even now, as a number of us are just aware that there's so much happening to us because there are still some election processes going on, we have choices to make. And I think that's a good news for me, that we can choose to continue growing, and we can choose to acknowledge either our pain, our anxiety, and other experiences. When we choose to acknowledge our experiences, then we may need to do something about it, maybe alone. Maybe we may need to talk to somebody who is objective, including a professional counselor. But there are other things that Richard has suggested to us. How do you know? Perhaps at this time of our lives, dear citizens, it's a time that we can grow and grow and grow despite political anxiety. And that is what I choose to do. Not easy, but it is important to learn that through pain and other challenges, we can either get very devastated and just get stuck in our lives and be of no use even to others, but we can also choose to grow. I just want to once again acknowledge all of you. We are so grateful. We'll continue to invite you. God bless you. God bless all of us. God bless Kenya. Once again, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you very much. Over to Lorna so that we can call it a day for today. Bye only for now. We're only doing a comma. We'll continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Madam Eleka,
Yeah.
for your lovely words, inspirational. I've also learned a bit. I mean, learning never ends. And just in noticing that the number of questions that are coming through and the comments that are coming through are also very common to some of the issues that are also coming through to the center. And so we are in the same place.
Lorna,
Yes.
Lorna,
yes.
There is a persistent aspect coming up, whether
Yes.
it's possible to unveil the slides. Would
Okay.
you or Richard attend to that kindly? Thank you.
Yeah, maybe Richard can talk about that.
Can I mention
Esther?
something, Lorna? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we will upload this recording in Amani Counselling Center and Training Institute YouTube channel. So please follow us there and then you'll get the recording there. But for the slides, we are not sharing the slides, but we will share the recording on the YouTube channel of Amani.
Thank you, Esther.
Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you very much. Even for that will be very useful, even for those who are not able to log in, so that they can follow step by step. Asante
We are being asked, Esther,
really again on behalf of
Lorna, we are being asked to send our YouTube link, Esther.
Okay, so if you go to YouTube,
just say
the name of
thank
Amani
you so
Counselling
much.
Center. Lorna, you'll go to YouTube and type Amani Counselling Center and Training Institute. It will show up and then you will follow it. And invite friends also.
Thank you, Esther.
Thank you, Eleka. Yes, Lorna, you can go ahead.
Lorna, I offer to you to say the final word.
I can share our regional offices before Lorna join us and conclude the session. So Amani Counselling Center is regionally in Kenya. We have the head office along, formerly it's called Mbagathi Way, now it's Raila Odinga Way. And then we have Nairobi CBD office. It is at Mwalimu National Circle building, 8th floor. This is along Tomboya Street. We have an office in Mombasa. It is in Laxmi House, 1st floor, Moi Avenue, opposite Toyota Kenya. We also have an office in Nyeri. It is at Central Plaza, 2nd floor. It's opposite Stage ya Katikati. We have an office in Kisumu. It is on Tomboya Estate behind National Oil Service Station. We also have an office in Siaya at Lake Western Park building next to Siaya Red Cross. And we have a sub-branch in Ugunja. Please, for more information how to reach us, you can reach us on 0722 626 590 or 0735 744 389. We have a lot of offering. You can be empowered. Please find us on our website on www.amanicenter.org. Thank you and God bless you. Please invite friends. We'll be glad to be hosting you next
Esther,
Friday.
I hope you can hear me. Still having a bit of challenges with the network, but there's a question about how do we get future notifications for other webinars that are to come. Are you able to answer that?
Yes, Lorna, I'm able. On today's webinar, there was a link you are supposed to register on a Google form. So once you share your details there, including your telephone number and email address, for every consecutive webinars, we'll be emailing you the invitation. So please ensure you give your details through the link, the Google form link, and then you'll be sure we'll be inviting you. And as you are here, be our good ambassador, please spread the word to as many so that many people can be empowered. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Esther. And Richard, thank you very much for today's powerful presentation. We are looking forward to the next webinar. And as you can see from the comments, I hope you have also had time to look through. There's a lot of learning coming out of today's input and very, very much on point to what is happening in the country today. A lot of persons within the workplaces, within the family setups are also struggling with this anxiety. And so really, this was very timely. We really want to thank each and every one of you and hope that you will be able to join us for our next webinar. Esther has mentioned that she will be sharing, the way forward as to what is coming up next. Please remember, ours is help at hand. And so we have the help. It is very readily available through our offices, the locations which Esther has mentioned. And so you do not need to wait until you probably get overwhelmed. Reach out to us. We are ready. We have professional counselors on board, and we will be able to help you understand some of the things that maybe you are not even able to share on the chat or ask. We are there. Amani is open from Monday to Saturday, and we also do extended services. We just don't offer the in-person services. We also offer virtual services. So it really doesn't matter how far you are, we can still be reached. And having said that, I want to wish you a blessed week. Let us continue to celebrate in a sensitive manner, those of us who are celebrating, and those of us who are not celebrating, we can also come and look for help. Yeah, so let us be sensitive to each other, even as we engage, because we have seen from what Richard has presented today, a lot is really going on in the country. A lot is going on within our personal self. And in as much as he mentioned this, and I want to mention it again, our children are also watching us. They're watching us, they're listening to news. And so let us also be very observant and see how we can support them. So have a blessed week, and thank you very much. Goodbye. God bless.
Thank you, Lorna.
Asante.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josephine. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye for
Thank you.
now. Only for now. Only for now.
Bye for now.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you, people.
Yes, for
Thank
now.
you.
Yeah. Lovely to see all of you. Wow. Wow.
Thank you, Erica.
Lovely.
Thank
This
you.
is great.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Lovely to see
Nice
all
to
of
see
you, to connect with all of you. God bless you.
Yeah. Thank you. God bless you, Erica. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you,
Bye.
sister.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Great to see you.
sister. Wow. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Shama.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate. Thank you.
It was a nice meeting. Beautiful.
Thank you so much,
Oh, we
sister.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Damaris
Thank you.
Onyango. We appreciate. Thank you, Milka.
Thank you. My dad also has joined today. You are most welcome, Dad. Keep joining.
Wow,
Wow.
how nice, how nice. Lovely.
Wow.
Your dad joined?
Yes, yes. He's called Harry Jira.
Oh, great, great. Thank you, Esther's dad. We appreciate you very much. Asante.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. We really appreciate you as well.
Thank you, thank you.
Asante.
This is Harry Jira.
Oh, lovely. Asante.
Yeah, yeah.
We appreciate you very much.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless you. And come,
Amen.
welcome again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Asante. Oh, thank you, Rosina. How nice.
Welcome, Elika.
Lovely. Thank you.
Long
Thank
time.
you. I know. Lovely to connect with you. Thank you also, Alice. We appreciate. Thank you, Pauline Wanje. We appreciate you all.
Thank you very much.
Asante.